So let's begin. So if you think of building a local cloud environment, what are the important aspects which we need to consider? We will try to see this across. So people usually think that, can I be using my local data center which is there? Can I think of using that as a local cloud instance? The answer for this question can be yes and no as well. Why it can be yes is because obviously you will try to get the kind of level of security which you have already configured in your data center, but then the kind of scalability which you can think of getting in a data center, that is very limited. So the solution for this is how we can think of building the local cloud environment based on the principles of your data center. So that will certainly help organization in terms of addressing the needs of your business, and you will be able to get the required security levels which are there in your data center. So we will try to see how it can be handled across. So this section basically provides a bit of overview of how the local cloud environment can be thought of building in your organization. So whenever you as an organization are embarking on a journey of building a local cloud environment, the focus should be on how it can be worked upon. So you as an organization should be focusing on the communication methods, what would be the processing mechanism for storing and processing and sharing the data, how how are the important elements of software, hardware, messaging has to be handled, it has to be dealt very carefully. Organization need to think about what would be the mechanism of accessing the information, whether it would be the likes of public internet, and if not, then can there be a local network being configured for getting the data shared across. Whenever you are thinking of building a local cloud environment, you need to also evaluate the overall kind of risks what are involved if some of the elements of it has to be accessed through the public internet. So you need to measure the risk, we need to document the risk, and we need to ensure how these risks fit into the overall strategy. So cloud is always a journey. Whenever you try to move on from your local data center to a private cloud, it is more of a transformational journey in which you try to get the best of breeds of both the world. You want to ensure the kind of security which is there in the private data center with the likes of the same level of security in your private cloud. And also you want to build the agility, you want to build the scale with the likes of your private cloud. So this is the important consideration we need to think of, that how we can build and bring the elements of agility in terms of scaling up your resources when you are trying to move from your private data center to a private cloud journey. So as it has been rightly posed, that why own a local cloud environment? What is a certain need for owning a local cloud environment? There can be different reasons why organization can think of moving across their data centers in a form of local cloud environment. First and foremost is when you think of putting a local cloud environment, it helps you to get yourself closer to the place of your business. It basically allows you that your private intranet, which you try to use it across, you can start thinking of using that network for your private cloud. Also, the infrastructure which you have invested, the kind of investment which you have done in the existing infrastructure can also be reused and it can be reutilized in the private cloud environment. And whenever you try to move across on the journey of cloud, the biggest problem area is your legacy applications. In the journey of moving on to the cloud, It is fundamentally tough to move the applications which are age-old applications. For these kind of applications, the only solution you have is how you can integrate these kind of legacy applications with respect to your private cloud environment. So that these are the fundamental reason organization think of bringing the best of both the worlds in form of creating a local cloud environment, which will be helping you to reuse your investment which is done in the existing infrastructure, and you will be able to integrate your legacy applications which can be brought to the mainstream by using the cloud set of cloud native APIs. So how you can think of creating the local cloud environment is, first and foremost is, if you want to or if you want to build a local cloud environment, it has to be either controlled by you as an organization, or you can think of putting it across to a service provider. So when you think of controlling a local cloud environment, the biggest benefit which you get is you get a complete control of the information. You get a complete control of your infrastructure in terms of where the data resides, how the data flows. All these elements are controlled by you as an organization. Also, it gives you a kind of internal security that the data which is resided, it is residing in the certain periphery, it is residing in the law of land. So these are the few reasons why an organization want to consider building a local cloud environment. So first and foremost, they want to reuse the infrastructure which they have already invested when they were trying to put the data center in this. And second, they want to ensure that all the legacy applications which are there in the environment can be integrated with your private cloud. In addition to that, organizations want to get a complete control of the situation. They want to ensure the data flow is getting controlled. They are able to monitor the overall security. And for most is they are able to get the benefits of private cloud ways of working as well. So these are the fundamental reasons why organizations think of establishing a local cloud environment. Now let's try to revisit the components. So what are the different components which would be required for establishing a local private cloud instance, and how the interconnections can happen between these two entities? So mainly, if you are thinking of establishing a local cloud instance, you need to think about two main types of aspects. First and foremost is, what are the kind of softwares which you need? The kind of application software, the kind of web servers, the kind of database system, the kind of operating systems. Organization need to organize all these critical aspects from the software viewpoint. In addition to that, they also need to evaluate what are the hardware components which are required for establishing the local cloud instance. What are kind of switches? What are the routers which you need to have it? What would be the overall disk storage space you need to have? How many servers you need to build? What is the rack space you need to have? So all these fundamental aspect of designing and redesigning your hardware has to be dealt very carefully and keenly. So these are the two main components or areas which has to be dwelled deeper when you are thinking of building a local cloud instance which can be working very closely with your data center.